Okay, versus by now, if you live in the UK or even if you don't, you would already know the proposal that Auntie Kemi Badnock wants to make to curtail immigration in the UK. Now, we're going to be analyzing all that, and I'm going to be giving you my own personal opinions on the policy. So let's watch what Auntie Kemi is suggesting.
Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. It's time to tell the truth on immigration and propose real plans to do something about it. I want to reduce immigration and make living here actually mean something. We need to change the way our immigration system works. So I'm announcing that the Conservative Party is going to do the following things differently. 1. If you want to stay in our country permanently and apply for indefinite leave to remain, the time you have to live here before you apply will increase from 5 years to 10 years. 2. You will have to be a net contributor with a high enough salary, especially if you want to bring family members with you. And if you've got a criminal record, you're banned. 3. If you've claimed benefits or need social housing, you can't even apply. 4. We will increase the time before you can apply for a British passport from 12 months to 5 years, meaning it will take a minimum of 15 years to start an application. 5. If you enter this country illegally or outstay your visa, you will be banned from ever gaining leave to remain or a passport. These changes, on top of a strict numerical cap on numbers, will constitute the most robust changes ever made to our immigration system.
What I love most about the video is when she was saying our country, our. I'm like, auntie. If people like you were in power in the 1980s, would you even have the audacity to call the UK our country? You wouldn't. But now you've been able to come in and you don't want any other person to come in. Well done, Auntie. Now, before we even analyze the main thing that Auntie has said, have you noticed that when government want to create some very strange policies or very ridiculous policies, immigrants are always a figurehead? Because it's so funny how someone that is trying to curtail immigration looks like me. What an irony. And one thing people like Auntie forget is the fact that at the end of the day, no matter what you do, if you are not white, you are not white. Because there are situations where someone would have been in this country for quite some time, then they make a mistake or even commit a crime. You will realize that when a newspaper is published on their behalf, it's things like a black woman or an Asian woman, people will not address the person as British, even though this person may have been here for quite some time. Now, what Auntie fails to realize is the fact that no matter where she goes to, she's still nothing would ever change that. Now let's focus on the proposed policies. First of all, it is not anything that has come into power because the Conservatives are not even in power. But in case you are planning to vote them next time, just know that these are their proposals, these are their plans, because it's not just mere talk. These are things that they are going to do. And when I saw the video, my first inclination was, why, like, what's the brain behind it? But I think the brain behind the policy or the proposed policy is that the locals would most likely love that kind of policy and vote them into power. It is common knowledge that some locals don't want immigrants or migrants or expats to be in the UK, because when push comes to shove, you keep hearing things like, go back to your country, immigrants are taking our jobs, taking our this, taking our that. And of course, a policy as ridiculous as what Auntie is proposing would mean that the local people, especially the local people that are racist, because there are some local people that are not racist, but there are some that actually are, they would be in love with such a policy because it helps them. Because in their delusion, they think it is immigrants that are stealing things, forgetting the fact that these people they are calling immigrants are people that have worked their ass off to even be in this country. If you are here legally, I'm 100% sure you have done a lot to be here, because the UK is not a country that will just give you handouts just because. Even when they were saying, oh, care assistants come to the country, it was for a reason, because their populace could not even do the jobs. Even for those of us that are currently sponsored under the skilled workers visa, our eyes are seeing the back of our heads because it is not easy. Someone told me that this skilled worker visa is even likened to the Nwa boy system in the East, where you are working for your oga for like 5 years or 10 years, then after you get rewarded. That is how the skilled worker visa can be likened to. Because if you are here and you are working for an employer for about 5 years, your eyes will most likely see the back of your head, because there will be days that you don't want to work, not because you are lazy or anything, but because you're just tired, but you just have to, because you are here as a sponsored person. Even being here, nothing is free. As you are working, a large proportion of your money is going into bills, and yet auntie is acting like we are just here because the government is doing us a favor of being here. Imagine her comment on the UK is not a hotel. Of course, we know. Ask any immigrant. It is clear that, see, in this country, you do not belong. Like, it is so obvious that it's almost like unwritten. They will not tell you you don't belong, but you will know that you don't belong. And there are times when you face some issues, you want to talk, but then you remember where you're coming from, and you remember that, if not that in my country there are so many governmental issues, would I be here? There are many times when you go to Nigeria, for instance, and you would notice that this is such a beautiful country. Like, I would love to be here, but I cannot be here for my future or for my children's future. The system is not working. So for most people that are here, they're not here because it's just a vacation. No, they are here because the system here to a large extent works, and if you put into the economy, in due time you would reap the benefit. And that's the reason why a lot of us made that huge sacrifice and choice to leave our countries to come here and in future reap some benefit. And that future for a lot of people is like 5 years. For instance, if you're on the skilled worker visa, it's most likely 5 years. Then you apply for your indefinite leave, and after about 12 months you'll be able to apply for citizenship. But now what auntie is saying is, see, not just 5 years old, you would wait for 10 years before you get your ILR. Meaning, if you came into this country as a 25 years old lady, you are getting your citizenship as a 40 years old woman. And we're not even talking about the fact that there could be some delays, or about the fact that if there is any issue, for instance, you accessing public funds, you would not be eligible for citizenship. Like, what is going on? What have we done to you, auntie? You are literally like us. What's going on? Then for people that came to this country when they are like in their 40s, that means you be a citizen when you are like 55 thereabout. That is so ridiculous. One thing I notice about the UK is that sometimes they forget that they are not the only country in existence. I was speaking to a colleague of mine that has relocated to Canada, and I know when he relocated, so I was just joking, saying things like, very soon you would have your ILR, and it was like, I already have it. I say, when did you come in? Because I knew when you came in as a student, and now you already have your ILR. And of course, no country is perfect. I even understand that a lot of countries have now tightened their immigration policies. But my advice to you, if you are watching me and you are wondering, so what would I do if that policy comes in place? Firstly, you're not a tree. You can absolutely move. I'm a believer that if a place, a person, or any situation no longer benefits you, you are not stuck. You can absolutely leave. You can absolutely go for something better. Now, sincerely, I do not think this policy would actually come in play, because it doesn't make any sense. And of course, if you are as outraged as I am, you would know who to vote for if you have the opportunity to vote, because some of these policies are downright ridiculous. Let's even talk about the financial requirement, because for you to even stay in this country for up to 10 years before you get your indefinite leave to remain, that means you keep renewing your visa. Do you know what it feels like to be working for someone 5 years, 3 years, and you keep renewing that visa? A lot of times I feel like when these people try to make some policies, they are not really thinking well, because the strict policies they made in terms of immigration has led to a lot of universities being almost bankrupt. In a lot of universities, they are laying off staff, because when one immigrant comes into the country, outflow they get financially, we have to pay IHS, we have to pay this, have to pay that. Then if that immigrant is coming with their family, that is a lot of money fed into the system. And yet these people, they keep forgetting the input of immigrants in the UK. Go to hospitals and see the number of immigrants. In fact, I dare call them expats, not even immigrants, because when they come to our country, we call them expatriates. We give them all the fancy names, but we come here, we are treated as though we are second class citizens. Please, we are expats. At the end of the day, what I would always say to every expat, as you are here, be strategic. Always have an exit plan. Always have a plan B. You are not stuck. Don't think, I'm stuck, I'm fighting. Because one thing I realize is almost every year there's always one very ridiculous policy. Always. And when you have that mindset of there is abundance, see, you will not feel stuck. You will know that if, for instance, this ridiculous policy would come in play, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, because that fear that is peddling is not going to benefit you in any way. To just make you feel very stuck. So most times you see that extra shift that you're trying to gather, you're trying to do, sometimes use that time to think. Sometimes say no to those extra shifts and think about your future. Think about what you want out of this country. Because when you are treated like you don't belong, you should start thinking of how you can create that safe haven for yourself, for you to belong. That could be you running businesses, it could be you staying in the country but waiting it out. It could also be you actually going to another country. Now, regardless of whatever plans you have, ensure that at the forefront you are prioritizing what benefits you, because a lot of these Western countries do not rate us at all. It's only when we benefit them that they realize our importance. But when they feel like maybe we are benefiting too much, they take back their resources. We have to be quite wise in terms of all this, because sometimes I want to even have opinions, I want to talk a lot, but then I realize that at the end of the day, if my country actually had good leaders, most of us will not be here. A lot of us don't even like the code, a lot of us don't like the system, the value system, everything, but we've made our choice to be here because long term we've seen the benefits. But if they choose to act like if you like be here there is no benefit, then of course we would all do the needful. So that's my 2 cents about this current proposal by that auntie. All right, my loves, I would love to know your thoughts about this. Do you think it will actually come into play? I don't think so. But let me know your thoughts. I'll be in the comment section responding to your comments. And until next time, stay blessed, remain happy, and bye, my loves.